Hey guys, it's Angie with my fairy treasures. All right, let me just make sure I am coming out enough that you guys can see everything. Just a second. You guys know my MO. I always play with the camera for a second. Oops. Alrighty, let's just bring that up. Make sure you're seeing everything. Because what I do, you guys, now is I shoot my videos live, but I make them private when I shoot them. Because what happens is I can now do it on my phone, which I found out if I do my Wi-Fi through my house, I don't get all those interruptions, and I have a nice, I think, clean film. And also, it loads up much faster if I can do it like and say it's a live video, but have it private. I'm doing it through my phone, and I can just say, it'll just instantly, when I stop this, it'll instantly just download to YouTube, and it's so much faster, you guys. So you might want to try that. Okay, anyway, I am working in my Abandoned Places book again. I have 2 of these books, so let me just show you what I'm talking about. I have another one, so that's what I'm going to show you guys. This is my other one. So hopefully this stuff is dry. Yeah, because I was working on some of it. This is Abandoned Places. It's a book full of abandoned places and just really cool stuff. I get the books at a place called Half Price Books is where I've gotten them at. There's Abandoned Places, Abandoned Castles, and Abandoned Wrecks, and I've gotten all 3 of them. And I've gone through these books before, but like, look, isn't that picture cool? So what you do is you add collage bits. It's called reverse collage. You add collage bits onto this, and then you use acrylic paint. And it ends up completely different than how it looks. I'm working on this one today. This is how this one originally looked. And that's the one I'm working on today. We'll start going over that. So I won't go over this book because I've gone over this book before. I've never gone over Abandoned Wrecks or Abandoned Castles. I need to do that. Love this. Oh, this is fabulous. If I start looking through these books, guys, we'll never get to this because I am obsessed with these books. Look how cool that is. Oh, these books, not a lot of people, but some people. But I haven't seen people with the Abandoned Wrecks and Abandoned Castles, especially the Abandoned Castles. Okay, so that's the book. This book right here. Oh, and it's by Karen Conley. But just look up Abandoned Places. I get them on eBay. So you could just put Abandoned Places in and look on eBay. And all these books, Abandoned Places, Abandoned Castles, and Abandoned Wrecks, they're all between like $6 and $10. So that's how I get mine. Okay, so let's get started. What I did is I showed you guys the original page, and what this is, it's really a sad story. So I wanted to make this beautiful. I wanted to make it more positive. I want to make it these poor children in this prison here or this jail, make them feel safe. So what it is, it's it's called a reformatory, but I believe it's a jail, and it says for 16 years old to 30 years old. And I thought that's a mess too. Why would you stick 16-year-olds with 30-year-olds? That makes no sense at all. I don't like the thought of that at all. Those are children. And I don't like the thought of people being in prison, period. But I really don't like to think of the thought of children being in prison, especially not with adults. But so I thought, let's turn this page, because it's just a page full of sadness. Let's turn it into something positive, something beautiful, a safe place for these poor children. Some positive energy. So that's what I wanted to turn this page into. So this, I have this like statue thing, and this is decorating this page behind here. You can barely see it, but I needed something to fill in the white page. But more importantly, I pasted in this owl, and I'll tell you how I paste things in just a second. I pasted in this owl because I just feel like this owl is like the protector and like the mother of this reformatory. And she overlooks like all the children here and makes them feel comforted. I put this timepiece in because it's all about time. These children weren't given time. That's what I feel like. This butterfly is beautiful and renewal, and I feel like kids need that, a beautiful butterfly and that sense of renewal. This was from, where did I get this from? This was from a magazine. It had everything to do with Beauty and the Beast. Remember, there was that rose in here? And I just think the rose represents love, and I think this whole thing represents love. So over this rustic gel cell, I put this beautiful, clear glass dome that goes over this rose. Another thing about time, you know, these children didn't have enough time, I don't feel like. And this beautiful rose behind here. Now, these are bubbles because bubbles are fun and they're beautiful and they're childlike. And I think that their childhood had been stolen from them. And because how do they end up in here, you know? So bubbles are innocent, it's childlike, and I think that they're children, they still need that. So I'm going to have bubbles coming all the way up like this too. And I started the bubbles already. Okay, so I'm going to start with the bubbles. Okay, so I'm sorry to make you guys sad if I'm making anybody sad at all. I don't want to make it sad. It makes me sad, but we're going to make this happy. I'm going to make it happy for these children that had to live here. Okay, so let's put some more bubbles in. Where is the white paint? And I'm using acrylic. Oh, really quickly, I paste everything down with, you can paste everything down with matte medium and then go over with matte medium. What matte medium does is it makes it a paintable surface. So you can paint acrylic paint on top of this, because that's what we're going to do. It also makes it a wipeable surface. So if you mess up, you can just use a baby wipe. But what I do to save money is I glue everything down with some watered down Elmer's glue. I like to buy it by the gallons. It's about $10 to $15 if you use a coupon at Joann's. And then what I do is I go outside and I spray over matte acrylic spray paint. That is exactly what matte medium is. It's just a clear acrylic spray paint. I looked all this up, discovered this, and I thought, you know what? A clear matte acrylic spray paint is the same thing, and it works just the same as matte medium. You guys, with the coupon, this cost me like $3 or $4, and it's lasted me, I don't know, it'll last a lot longer than some matte medium will, that's for sure. Okay. And a gallon of Elmer's glue will last you probably a couple years. Okay, maybe 3 years. Okay, so now we're going to start here. So I want to start with these bubbles that I'm doing. So how I did the bubbles, let me go ahead. Let me bring this down a little bit. Might help a little bit more so we can get a little closer on these. There we go. That'll work out good. Right there. All right, so we're going to do some more bubbles. And what I did is I looked up some pictures of bubbles. I Googled some so I could get a sense of what do bubbles look like? What makes something look like bubbles? And it's a little bit of white on the outside. It's a little bit of white that kind of enters a little bit. That kind of shows that it looks like a bubble. And different sizes. So I highly suggest doing that when you don't know how something looks. And you think you know what something looks like until you go to do it and you're like, wait a minute, what does a bubble look like exactly? Go get some reference, Google it. Google pictures of bubbles and go figure Google it first before you start. Okay. So this is how I'm doing them. I do them kind of the same way I do my planets, but I have different sizes because bubbles are not going to be all the same size, right? You're going to have little different sizes of bubbles. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay. So from there, I like to use the colors that are inside of the work already. So I like this turquoise color because that's inside of this work. The turquoise is right there. There's a shade of blue there. And kind of pounce it in. Okay. You may need to wipe your finger off a little bit in between. You might get too much white or turquoise on your finger. And kind of just pounce it in. And then I'm going to use a little bit of a, this color here. So I'm using this color, I'm using this turquoisey color, and I'm using this gold, and I have a bronze, and I may use that or I may not, we'll see. And I'm probably going to add more bubbles than this. I want to have a ton of bubbles. But I want to get to other things too, so. And the whole goal of doing this page was just to, like, you know, celebrate these children as children and turn this negative experience, at least on this page, into something positive. And a place of safe and security for the children in here. Every child wants safety and protection. So maybe they didn't have it then, but they're going to have it now. Okay, and then let's throw in a little bit of copper. Okay, so then what we want to do is we want to mesh. Try to keep the circular form. Doesn't have to be perfect, but kind of keep the form going and mesh it. Okay. Okay, there we go. So then what I like to do is I take my baby wipe, because we have that matte medium on there, or in my case I have the clear matte spray. Everything easily wipes off. So we're going to just make these a little more perfect with our finger here. Just kind of go around them and just make them a little bit more circular. By just wiping off whatever we don't need. There we go. And some are fine. Some I just kind of went, of course, when I was patting them down, it went out of the circle a little bit. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is then take the white paint with a liner brush, which I love a liner brush, you guys. When you're doing this kind of work, this is my #1 tool, is a liner brush. Okay. And I like to, just like my plants, I like to go around these bubbles, but not perfectly. Not like a perfect circle all the way around. Kind of skip areas where I have it. And also, this is where I'm gonna add, make I think look more like a bubble, is just adding some white in like this. Okay. Just a second. And then I'm going to add a little bit of white like this into here. Okay. Just a second, I gotta grab some more white paint. And I think I told you guys about this before. I learned about this from Dee Dee Willingham about 3 or 4 years ago, about this reverse collage with paint, and I absolutely am obsessed with it. And there's several girls who are working on these books. Nana's Place, I'll try to leave her link below too. She is also working on these books, doing a fabulous job too. She loves it just as much as I do. That looks cool. So I like to go around each one and give them a little bit of a definition. Not too much definition. But I feel like giving them some definition makes them more look like the bubbles, and also adding a little bit of white in the middle area, or at least like on the bottom portion, like right here. And then bringing some white in through like that kind of makes it look like a bubble, in my opinion. Well, not just my opinion. When I went to go study how bubbles look, I saw a lot of bubbles that look like this, and this white is really important to give the look of a bubble. Okay. Just make sure you guys are seeing everything. Yep. Should I come in a little closer? Hopefully you guys are seeing it really well. I'll try to come in a tad bit closer. Okay. Do I need to come back? I need to come back. Okay. See if you guys are seeing that right there. Oh, you're not seeing my finger. Okay, let me come back out. I'm trying to play with the, so you guys can see everything well. Okay, hopefully you guys are seeing it okay. What's hard is to zoom in when it's way down here. That's when I find it's the hardest to zoom in. Another thing it is hard is, none of this is hard, but there's some things like zooming in, and another thing that's hard is, I can't turn my book because, you know, I gotta stay in frame. That is probably one of the hardest things is to paint and not be at the angle you really want to be at. Go. And let's bring a little bit. Okay. Sorry I've been getting quiet. I'm just focusing. Okay. Let's bring this. Let's bring a little more definition over here. And what I like is thick and thin lines. I think that makes it look more real. Instead of just being the same like thickness all the way around. Like it's a little thicker over here, it's a little thinner here. but you're kind of, you know, you're making it, you're encircling it in some white, but it could be thicker here, thinner there, and I think that looks good. Cool. I think that looks good. We'll go ahead and close that. Yeah, I'm liking how all those bubbles look. Okay, the other thing I want to do now is, because when there's bubbles, I also feel like there should be like little tiny bubbles. So splatters can also look like little small bubbles. So I'm going to throw little splatters all over here. I'm going to throw splatters over all of it because I love splatters. Splatters can be stars, splatters can be bubbles, splatters can be just splatters. If anyone's been watching me do this kind of work, or work at all, you guys know I love me some splatters. Okay, so these are going to represent little bubbles. And I'm just using, I'm going to throw some splatters over this butterfly too. And over the owl, and oops. We'll throw it over this. Make sure you guys are seeing everything. Yeah. I'm going to throw some splatters over here too. So there will be some more bubbles added to this. I'm going to stop with the bubbles for now because, oh, I love those bubbles. Okay, I'm going to stop with those bubbles for now because I want to get to some other things to show you guys. And I probably won't be, I won't finish this in this video, but I'll make a second one and finish it up with you guys. What else do we want to work on? Okay, just in this owl's eyes, the little protector, protector of the children. I'm going to put some little, I just like to throw some little catch lights in the eyes. I always do this, whether it's my dolls or my little girls I draw or whatever. I feel like there could be more catch lights in this. It definitely brings the owl more alive, I think. Cool. Okay, so just wanted to throw some catch lights in there. The other thing I want to do is I want to start getting water everywhere because I love water. Water also represents purity, cleansing, innocence, and that's what I think, you know, the root to these children, no matter what they did, I mean, they're children, so there was an innocence of being a child, and so that's what the water in here is going to represent to me for this painting. Let me just get this. Again, I'm going to be using, like always, this liner brush because I love it. Okay, let me just see, so that make sure you guys can see. Yeah, let's start throwing some water in. So, oh, remember I told you guys it's like angles are so hard. Okay, let me move my chair to an angle. Okay. So, I like to throw my water in like this, and then we'll start making the water drip down. But I like to throw it in very loosely so that it doesn't look like a straight line. Nothing's a straight line. Well, that's not true. Some things are straight lines, but in nature, you rarely see a straight line. And I like the imperfection of there not being a straight line. Okay. This is an overhang right here. I'm not really sure. How do I want to do that? Okay, I'm not going to do that right now. Let's just focus on what I'm doing. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just start throwing some water down. And we'll go right over that bubble too. Hopefully these bubbles are dry. Okay. I like to do like a little V and then just bring the water down. If you're going to make snow, I make my little upside down V a little bit thicker, and even make the water, even the drips, thicker because they're snow. But in this case, I want it to all be water. You know, am I? Yeah, just a second, guys. You know what? I've got to dry this. I got my hand all in my bubbles down here. Let me dry that really quickly. Okay, that'll be a lot better. Now I can rest my arm down. All right, so let's throw some water down here. Oh, I just thought of something I want to add right now before I forget. I love stars. Stars to me also are a sign of protection in my world. Not saying in your world they have to be, but in my world they are. I love stars. So I want to throw a star. I want to throw a star in here. Let me use my paint over pen, which is nothing but a white paint pen, but it's Jane Davenport's. It's right here. I love it. And she calls it unicorn. Isn't that so magical? Love that. So I feel like there needs to be a really big star right here. Love that. Isn't that pretty? And it's just, I just feel like that's like their little extra bit of protection. I am a mother too. I know I sound so motherly, but I am a mother. That's why I sound so motherly. Okay. I think once you're a mother to, you're kind of a mother to everyone. Okay? Your own children, other people's children. Once those mother instincts enter you when you have children, I don't think they ever go away. You still want to mother someone. Okay, I need to scoot this over so I can get my hand going the right way. Let me make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm doing. Yes, you are. And it's all about just seeing different things. Like I told you just now, I'm like, oh my God, I need to put that star there. So I just stopped, put that star in. I just felt like that needed to be there. It's also about when you see something different or you can change something into something else, do it. You don't always don't see things for just what they are. You know, you can change things into other things. Or just add things when you see it. My biggest mission for this page, like I said, is just to make it into a very nurturing environment, even though the environment is a reformatory, which is this children's or this prison for kids and up to 30 years old, which like I said, I think is not good. Um, but I wanted to make it, even though it's a reformatory or a prison for children, something, something beautiful and protective. So I added all of my favorite things that I feel that are like that. I love this owl as protection and like the mother of seeing over all the kids in here, or anybody that needs it. The butterfly for renew and starting over. The rose with this glass dome on top for love. I feel like the children need to be given more time, not given time, but given more time and love. And then I love the roses. I think roses represent love too. So that's what I am doing. And I love water everywhere. I'm a water sign. I'm a Pisces, so maybe that's why I'm so attracted to water. Every picture I do, I put a ton of water in. And I think, oh, you keep doing the same thing. You know what? That's me. That's my style. I love water, so if that's me, I should be doing it. Okay. So let's just keep adding the water. I can hear my husband outside. He loves to, he bought a blower. And we have this olive tree that just is a damn mess. And anyway, olives are everywhere right now. And whether it's olives or not, he just loves to use that blower. He loves to go outside. I think it's like relaxing to him. He goes out, he blows off the sidewalk, he blows off the driveway. I love it. One less thing I need to do. And it's just funny because you have to charge it up. So he keeps that thing charged up too. It's hilarious. Cool. I like that. That looks really good. Okay, you know what? I want to just add a little bit of smaller drops in between here. When you're doing these water, or you can do snow, make them just a little bit thicker, you're not looking for perfection because water's not perfect. The only thing I say about water is when it gets to the bottom, make sure it's kind of thin at the bottom because, you know, gravity, it's not going to be thicker. It's going to be a little bit thinner at the bottom of the water. That's my rule for water. But if you don't want to have that rule for water, then don't do it. Then go ahead and have thick water at the bottom. Okay. I'm going to throw some water in here at the bottom of here, like right here. Yeah. And then I'll throw some more bubbles in through there, but we won't do those right now. You know what I see up here? Oh, right here. This looks like a little cave, and this just kind of formed itself. This was already here. It was already black, I guess, in the cell. It just looked black right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw some stars and stuff in there, like it's a its own little world right there, like it's a little night sky right there. And I'm going to throw in some stars with my little flicks I like to do. 3 little flicks. You already got your small stars, and that's why I did the splatters, and they're already there. So these are the small, or these are the medium-sized stars, and I just do 3 flick outs. And then we'll do some shooting stars too. You know, I see some more of that darkness right here. So instead of being a dark cell, it's just going to be a little bit of like the moon, the night coming in. So it's darkness right here, but it's a positive darkness with moon and stars. Okay. And I see it right there too. I got it. My paint is kind of drying up a little bit. Okay, just a second. Just making sure you guys are seeing everything I'm doing. Here, here, here. Yeah. All right, just a second. Let me grab some more white paint. Ooh, that needs to go on my list. I need white paint. I have a bunch of bottles that are just like almost empty. I need to get some more. And white is like, when you're doing this kind of work, is one of the colors you're going to use the most. At least it is for me. One of the colors I use the most. Okay, so in between here where all these bars are, and it's dark in the inside of the cell, let's put stars, and that's going to light this whole place up, right? Stars, they're beautiful. And what do? They light up the night sky. So it's going to light up this little reformatory. Maybe these could even be little fireflies. You know? I think that looks really, really pretty. Yeah, let's call these little fireflies instead of stars. Little fireflies came in and they just lit up all the darkness inside of those cells. Okay? What else do I want to do? And then let's put some more. Where is my paint over pen? Here it is. Let's put some more stars in here. Okay. I think we're going to do another big one over here. There we go. Cool. Just a second. That's just way too thick right there. There we go. And let's bring this all the way down into here. Bring this all the way up. Yeah, perfect. And then we'll do some of these other stars like this. So I'm just doing a little circle and then I'm just shooting out with this, with my pen. You can use a Posca too. But you guys, I am in love with this paint over pen. It's a white paint pen. It's called Unicorn by Jane Davenport. This thing is fabulous. like it never seems to get, however they created it, it never gets caught up like when you go over acrylic paint. It's called a paint over pen. So it doesn't have to dry overnight for it not to get all clogged up. Like a lot of times you need to, if you're going to paint over some acrylic paint, you better wait even overnight before you use even a paint pen on it, because the acrylic paint will eat up your pen. I haven't had a problem yet. I think that looks so cool. Okay, so that's at the top there. And oh, I just want to draw some little line, little watch hands coming out right here. Let me use my ruler. Let's see, where is the, oh, you guys can't even see it. Okay, let me bring this down and bring the book over, I think. Let me see if that gets me in frame for this clock. Nope. Try coming up a little bit. Yeah, now we're in frame. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna take my ruler and just gonna draw some little, it's like some little beams or some little watch hands coming out. Kind of like some beam of light. Which I think looks really cool. Actually, I don't know if I like that, the way I did it there. Isn't that cool how you can just... Okay, I'm gonna erase both of them, just a second. Okay, let me just do it again. Okay, so we're going to do this beam of light here, bam, and a beam of light here. Cool. So it's just a beam of light coming out from there, which I think looks really, really cool. Another thing I want to do is I want there just to be some light going around this clock. Okay. And if you use this paint over pen to do this, you have to kind of, if you want it smeared, do it immediately because it dries up quick. I just want like a beam of light going around here. But I want it to be a beam of light, so if I want it to be a beam of light, it needs to still be see-through a little bit, so that's why I'm smearing it. There we go. And I also want a beam of light going around this butterfly. Okay, you're not going to see the light there, so let me just do it here. Okay, there we go. Real light with my finger. Cool. Right here, I'm going to take this and add some coppery and browns right in through here on this. So this is the white page. It says number 39 right there, but I will do that later. Let's do that same thing with the beam of light going around this this dome. So let me bring my book back over a little bit so you guys can see that. And bring it up. Okay. Oh. Okay, over here I don't have to smear it so much because it's already so light over here that I can just pretty much go around it and not have to smear it too much. I'll probably have to smear it, yeah, I have to smear it over the black a little bit. There we go. Smear a little bit right there. There we go. So there's a little glow of light around that. And let's do the same thing around this flower. I love a beam of light around things. I just think it makes it look more magical and just cool. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then I want to add in some drips of water. So where all this water is coming from, you have some drips on the floor. I love to use drips of water. Use this scruffy brush. Let me bring my book back into the center here. Where are we at? Right here. Okay. Just a second, I'm grabbing some white paint here, like this. Using this, this brush is scruffy. See how scruffy that brush is? If you ever get yourself a hard, bristly, scruffy brush, this makes great clouds. It makes great water. I love it. So. Okay. Don't like how that looked right there. Okay. So let's just continue that water from here. Okay. Okay, I don't like that. That doesn't look good. Thank goodness I can wipe it right off. Okay, I'm liking the water right here. That looks good. Do I like it like that? No. Maybe I just want to have, you know what I do? We can leave a little bit of this water right here. Just a little bit right there. Coming out of that cell. And then some there. And then what I want to do is throw some bubbles in right here. So we won't put any water right here. We'll put bubbles. So we'll do some bubbles here, here, and bubbles going up into this, up over the cell there. Okay. Again, from this clock face here, let's do some beams of light coming from there. And aren't beams of light just positive energy? So this is going to represent positive energy, these beams of light that are coming from these clocks. Okay. And then I'm going to dry this page real quick. Awesome. Love the beams of light. So let me dry this a little bit. You guys, I didn't feel like I was going to finish this this painting all in one go here, but I think I am. So I'm going to do the bubbles right now. Okay. I mean, how special to have bubbles coming up from the floor in a reformatory. I think that is. That's happiness. Okay. So, do I want to do one more bubble? Yeah, I want to do one more bubble right here. We'll do one more there, and we'll do another one right here. Perfect. Okay, so we got all these bubbles, and let's start adding color into all of our bubbles. And let me make sure my camera is still on. Make sure we're still good. We are still good. Okay. Oh man, I was thinking that my paint hadn't dried up, but it has. Darn it. Okay. Acrylic paint dries up quick. Okay, and then let's see if I can get this reconstituted. Nope, gotta grab some more of that. I gotta put some blue down there. Okay. I especially wanted to try to finish too, because I thought my paint was still all wet, so I wouldn't waste paint, but it dried on me. Okay. And then I still need to add blue down here. Okay, so let's hurry up for all this. Oops. I didn't get my finger dried off there. Let's start blending all this together. Okay. Start meshing. Okay, so, oh, I like that. Let's add a little bit more turquoise onto this. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking all those. Okay. So now let's go back through them, and just anything that's out of alignment of your circle, just kind of make sure your bubbles are roundish. They don't have to be perfect, just roundish. Okay. So I just go around and clean those up. All right, and then let's go ahead with our liner brush. What time is it? Oh good, it's only 4:46. Okay. Oh, acrylic paint dries out quick. So we're going to take our acrylic paint. Just one second, I got something about to fall. Okay. Take our white acrylic paint, and let me make sure if you guys see me do all these bubbles. Yeah. See if we can't come in any closer. You see my finger down there? No. All right. If I go out of frame for a second, you guys, I'll be down here at the bottom of the page for a second, and I'll be right back up. Okay, So let's start just framing our bubbles a little bit. Remember, kind of thick and thin lines, they don't have to connect. There we go. Sorry if I'm getting quiet on you guys, I'm just, I'm focusing. I like that. And as I come to each bubble, it kind of tells me what it wants, and so I listen to it. Okay, I'm going down to the bottom of the page, and I don't think I'll be on camera when I do that, so sorry about that. Okay. I think this bubble looks good. Let's see. Sorry guys, I hope I'm not working too long off this bubble down here. Okay. I don't think you guys are seeing that at the bottom. So let me look and see how everything's looking. Yeah, you guys aren't seeing that there, but are you guys seeing this here? Yeah. Let me work that bubble. I didn't put a little bit of anything around it. Okay. Okay, again, I'm working a little bit below again, just to, there we go. I like that better. There's a bubble down here at the bottom where you guys aren't seeing it. It's kind of was driving me nuts, and I'm just fiddling with it and fixing it. Okay. That looks good. Okay. I'm just looking over everything, looking at seeing what you guys are seeing. I am loving that. Okay, what I need to do is I need to put splatters, though, over these bubbles, okay? Because I like the look of the, that means that, to me, that represents the little bubbles that come up from the bigger bubbles. So let me just put some splatters, which is going to be represent for me the smaller little bubbles all around. I just think that looks good. It's fast. I mean, I did not plan on finishing this one. I finished on having like a part 2, you know, in a couple of days or something and finish this. But sometimes, you know, these don't come together very easily for you. Sometimes, I don't know, you just, they come together really quick. So this one, I mean, I feel like I've been working on it for a while, but I got done pretty quickly with this. I'm really shocked, and I absolutely love it. Yeah. So let me just kind of go over things a little bit. Let me make sure you guys are seeing everything. Yeah, let me make sure I'm completely, oh, sorry guys. all the way back down. Okay, so you guys can see everything. I bring this like that, I think. Let me see if you guys are seeing everything. Oh, just touch my thing. I could bring this up a little bit. Oh, we'll bring it down. Like I'm a little emotional about this picture. I love all the bubbles I created. I wanted there to be tons of bubbles because I think that's a sign of innocence and playfulness and childlike, which is where I think they need to be in life, is childlike, because they are these young ones that are 16 and 16, 18 are children. The stars, I believe, are just protection. These are beams of light, which is positivity, renewal with the butterfly, beautiful and love represented by the rose there and the rose backing this clock. Again, positive beams of light coming from the clocks. These are little fireflies lighting up their cells. I mean, how beautiful is that? Little fireflies lighting up their little cell. And then water everywhere, because I love water. I think water is pure, it's clean, it's clear. I love it. And then we put some puddles of water, and then we did with these bubbles, I did a lot of white speckles, of white specks to represent bubbles coming up, you know, in between all of the larger bubbles. In here it kind of means, you know, this is a little bit of like a night sky, and then little fireflies, like I said. So that's it, you guys. I love how this turned out, and this was, I can't believe how fast this page went, because usually these take me quite a bit long. This and kind of mesh it in through here, which I'll do once I get off. Okay, you guys, that is it. That is it. If you guys want these books, these abandoned places, abandoned, you know what? We have time, so let me just. I'm not going to go through the books, but I'm going to show you what the what do you call it? What the cover looks like. Abandoned Places. This is this book, the one we're working in now. That's Abandoned Places. Okay. Abandoned Castles looks like this, which I'm going to be working in Abandoned Castles here very shortly. Probably my next one, I'll use Abandoned Castles. We'll work in this one, Abandoned Castles. You guys have got some fabulous castles in that. And then Abandoned Wrecks. Abandoned Wrecks is so cool. So many old cars, old ships, old trains, and they're just awesome. And that's Abandoned Wrecks. All of these you can get on eBay. Just look up those names on eBay, and you can get them through that. So that is it, you guys. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to do so. Oh, one other thing. You don't have to, if you want to do this reverse collage and paint techniques, you do not have to work in these Abandoned Places books. Get a calendar. Go look in a magazine and find a page that you love and add collage to that, and then do paint. In a magazine, on a calendar page, wherever, you guys. You don't have to get these abandoned books places. But if you want these abandoned books, there's the information for them, because I am obsessed with them. Okay, you guys, that is it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to do so.